How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Herbie Design Co workshop. Welcome back to another episode of Business Bites. This one, I want to talk about pricing. Pricing is a big thing that always gets floated around. A lot of people ask the questions, how do I price my work? How do I work out how much to charge for that dining table I just built? How do I work out how to charge for that chopping board I just built? So what I want to run through with you this time is my pricing model and how I price up my stuff. I'll also show you a couple other pricing options that I've seen other people use and why I'm not a huge fan of them. Let's get serious. Time to pull out the whiteboard and we're going to throw it up on the board so you can see it as I'm explaining it. So the first thing I want to touch on though with any pricing stuff is straight off the bat, don't undervalue yourself. Please, whatever you do, understand what your work is worth. If you're selling your stuff and you're only pricing your time or you're only selling based on your material cost, you're not making any money to start with and you're undervaluing yourself. If you're charging yourself and your time out at anything less than 20 bucks an hour, in Australia here, less than 20 bucks an hour, that's below minimum wage. You may as well be flipping burgers at McDonald's and spend your time doing that. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's okay, I do it for the love. I love what I'm doing. I do it because I love it. You know what? I guarantee you the boys down at Stone and Wood love making beer, and that's why they do it, but they're not giving it away. Same thing for your products you make. You need to be paid what you're worth. And if you're not getting what you're worth, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the rest of the woodworking and the maker community a disservice by undervaluing the skills and the expertise and the level of effort that is put in to produce a product. So please, whatever you do, make sure you're valuing yourself, your products, and your value. Make sure that you're getting that right and you're charging out your time and effort appropriately. On that, let me jump into the pricing models and what I use and what I have seen others use and, in my opinion, I recommend against. Materials times whatever. Doesn't matter what you want to put at the back end here. Materials times 2, materials times 3. I've seen them both floated around as options. For me, you're doing yourself a disservice with this pricing model. This is saying my materials cost me 20 bucks. Times that by 2. Therefore, my sale price is 40 bucks. Now, if your material cost was only 20 bucks and you've spent 4 hours working on it, does that mean you're only going to get 20 bucks for your 4 hours work? So you're charging yourself out at 5 bucks an hour? If you're working on something that's really expensive, I priced up a American walnut dining table, about an 8 to 10 seater dining table, late last year for a customer. The material alone was just shy of $5,000. So if I went materials times 2 on that, I'm looking at a 10 grand table. Now, instantly, that's a monster cost on a table that I'm not going to complain about getting paid 10 grand. They want to pay me 10 grand to make it. But in reality, it's not worth that. What that table ended up coming out at, I think my pricing on it ended up coming out at around $7,500. So you can already see there that I'm putting, by doing materials times 2, I'm putting a massive margin on top, which is probably going to send my customer down the street to buy it at some furniture shop that they can pick it up for down there. There's way too many variables in materials times. Let me give a shout out to Mark up at Dana Design, Pallet Punter. Which one are you now, Mark? He's doing some amazing stuff out of some really nice, beautiful looking pallet wood. But you know what? That pallet wood probably doesn't cost him much, but he's putting a lot of time and effort into getting it cleaned up to use. Materials times as a pricing method for him, he's going to earn next to nothing because his material cost is not worth much. Let me throw this one at you. Time plus materials plus profit. Now I know a lot of people stop here. Time plus materials, charge that out, and that's what they'll charge. But you know what? That pays you your time, that pays you your salary, that covers your material costs. What that doesn't actually give you is anything to put back into your business. So this is where the difference comes for me. My pricing model is this: time plus materials plus profit. I know my material cost. Let's say my material cost on a bill is $500. Let's say my labor costs, my time to actually produce it, depending on the amount of hours it's going to take me to make, for calculation's sake, $500. That's a $1,000 build. It's a $1,000 build, which covers my material cost, it covers my labor cost. What it doesn't cover is anything coming back into my workshop to help me reinvest in where I want to go next and what tools I might need to improve or what I need to repair or carry forward in some manner. So what I tend to do is I'll throw on a profit margin, and that's also a place for me to negotiate. So I know this is my bottom dollar. $1,000 bottom dollar, I can't go any lower. But I'll put a 20% generally profit margin, and that gives me now a $1,200 build. So it's a $1,200 build that I have a bit of wiggle room in to negotiate if I need to. But for me, I go in to my customers and I say, this is my price, and that's it. I'm firm on that. If there's really an issue and they really want to push the point, then I have the space to negotiate. But if it gets down to that $1,000 mark and they're still not happy, then that's when I need to walk away. I spoke in another video about knowing when to walk away from a job, saying that every job isn't a yes job. Every job is a maybe I can do this for you, let's talk job. You got to know when to say no to some jobs, and if they're not going to meet your bottom dollar and you're not going to make your minimum cover costs, it's a walk away job, it's a no job. So that's my pricing model. It's pretty straightforward. There's a little bit more effort in it compared to materials times whatever, because you've actually got to understand your time cost. You've got to understand what the time is going to take to produce a product. You've got to work out your material costs, which you should be doing anyway. At a bare minimum, you should know your material costs. And then you've got your profit margin. Your material cost is going to be fixed. You can't adjust your material cost. Sure, you can go to a different timber yard that might give you a little bit of a cheaper rate. You can go somewhere other than Bunnings to buy your Tassie Oak or your Vic Ash. Let me tell you that for a hot tip. You can actually get that cheaper at a timber yard than you can at Bunnings. Just putting that out there for you. Your time and your profit are variable. So for me, like I said, my profit margin is 20%. That's a margin that I've developed based on my own experience, having owned other businesses, run other businesses, and having worked in retail in the past. 20% was a base margin for those guys. So I went, you know what, that's a good starting point. Do I want to increase that margin? Do I want to decrease that margin? That's something I can juggle with over time. And like I said, that's something I can use as a negotiation point. So that 20% margin can vary and will vary depending on the job. The time, what you charge your time at, is an individual preference. So what you charge your time at is where you understand your value in what your expertise can bring. Keep in mind, you shouldn't be charging yourself out at anything less, in my view, than $30 an hour. If you're not making $30 an hour on what you're building, you need to question what the quality is that you're pushing out. For me, my rate's much higher than that, and that's based on my experience and my expertise. So I judge my rate based on that. I've got nothing to hide. My rate currently is $60 an hour. $60 an hour is my workshop rate. And if I am doing $60 an hour, it is a comfortable place for me to be able to feed back into the family budget and cover my costs of my time and my expertise. I really need to reconsider that rate, because for me, I've held that rate for 4 years now, and my skills and my expertise have actually grown exponentially. Most metal fabrication shops will charge out their staff at $100 an hour. So I'm doing metal fab in all my table builds. I really should be charging out more than $60 an hour. But at the moment, that's a rate that's comfortable for me. So the key piece there is you need to find a rate that is comfortable with you to charge out, that you can carry forward and review every 6, 12, 18 months. Time plus materials plus profit. I really want to ram that home and make sure that's understood. The key is plus profit. Don't think that because you're doing time and materials, you're getting your money back. That's all good, but money back doesn't cover the reinvestment in your business. It doesn't cover the reinvestment in the workshop. It doesn't cover the new tool that you need to purchase or the upgrade for the existing tool that you need to purchase. The profit margin is where you're actually going to start to expand and you're going to start to grow. If you're not gaining that, you're not going to grow and you're not going to move forward. I want to throw out one more offer for those of you watching who have made it all the way to the end. This might be a bit longer than my other videos, my other Business Bite episodes, but you know what? This one's really important, and it's something that I think is fundamental for anyone who actually wants to start making a profit. I've just launched a new coaching program called the Maker Manufacturer. Now, this is a program that is taking everything I've learned in 5 years, and I want to give you the opportunity to be able to integrate that into your own business. I'll walk along beside you, I'll help you out, I'll coach you through how to build your business and make it profitable. So the main makeup of the Maker Manufacturer is a 6-month coaching program. It's a one-on-one program, so there's not you and me and a bunch of other people. It's just looking directly at your business, how we can integrate the business tips that are coming out in Business Bites to your business, and how you can actually start to grow and be profitable in what you want to do. What I'm committing to doing is giving you taking an expensive hobby and turning it into a profitable side hustle. From there, you can grow and keep pushing forward as much as you like. So for the first 6 months, we'll have one-on-one coaching calls. We'll go through everything that's happening in your business, and I'll teach you what I've learned over the last 5 years and how to make that transition into profitable side hustle business. After that 6 months, I'll let you loose. You'll go off and do your thing, but it's not over. We'll come back again 6 months later with a really intensive look at what's happened in your business for the 12 months as a whole, and that 6 months you've been on your own. We'll look at that intensive and go, what's happening in your business? Where do you want to go? And what's going to come next? Because that's the key. You can learn everything you need. I can coach you for 6 months and you'll be able to do great. But unless you're really questioning that next step, you're going to struggle. It's that same thing about questioning, what's your time worth? What's your value of your expertise? So I want to put it out there. If you've made it to the end of this video, you've seen the Maker Manufacturer stuff coming out on my social media, and you want to know a little bit more about it, reach out to me. I'm actually going to put a discount out for the first 5 people to sign up. Maker Manufacturer is not about me making money. It's about me being able to share my expertise and my skills with you guys to help you build your businesses as you move forward. So I'm actually going to go out there. I'm going to say a 40% off discount for anybody, the first 5 people to sign up. So the first 5 people to sign up to the Maker Manufacturer and pay up, that's 40% off. I'll put a code in the description below. Top of my head, let's call it Maker 40. Maker 40 will be the discount. I'll add it in the description so you know it. But you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. This is the opportunity to actually take your business to a whole new level. Take your hobby to a whole new level. There's no reason you should be taking money from the family budget to fund your hobby. Woodworking is an expensive hobby, and we need to be profitable in what we're doing so that we can actually feed back to the family budget rather than drawing out of it. On that, I'll leave it with you there. Remember, if you're pricing your work, time plus material plus profit, please, please, please don't forget the profit and value your time well. $30 an hour minimum, probably more depending on what you're making. If you've got any questions, you have any issues, don't forget to hit me up in the comments. Reach out to me on my social media on Instagram or Facebook, or check me out on my website, herbigdesignco.com. I'm more than happy to answer questions, help people through this. If you want to know more about the maker manufacturer, jump on that too and ask any questions you want on that. I want to see you being profitable and being successful in your business, whether you want to go full time or whether you want to stay as a side business. That's up to you. But I want to see you profitable. I want to see you being able to make money and being able to comfortably afford where you want to move to. Till next time, stay safe, enjoy a beer,